Lily collapsed. Is that true? And is she okay? I'm not sure. The school said that she suddenly collapsed during a swimming lesson. My daughter Lily was taken to the hospital after experiencing hyperventilation during a swimming class. When I arrived at the hospital, Lily was sound asleep. Seeing her sleeping face, I was relieved. Amelia. How is Lily? Is she okay? My husband Joseph also rushed over after hearing the news. She's calm and just sleeping now. Please don't worry, Dr. Taylor replied, although his expression was somewhat somber. Dr. Taylor, please be frank with us. When I urged him, Dr. Taylor seemed to make up his mind and asked. What's the relationship like between your daughter and her grandparents? What do you mean by that question? I'm asking whether the relationship between your daughter and her grandparents is going well, Dr. Taylor reiterated. Taken aback by the sudden question, I was at a loss for words. Hey, you. Stop insulting my dad and mom. Joseph was trembling with anger as he spoke. From the vein throbbing on his forehead, I could tell that he was seething with rage. What's wrong with you? I was surprised by my usually stoic husband's emotional outburst. Then I must tell you. The shocking truth that Dr. Taylor revealed made me feel utterly powerless as a mother. My name is Amelia, a 42-year-old office worker. I currently live with my office worker husband, our elementary school-aged daughter, and my in-laws, making us a family of 5. We used to live apart from my in-laws. However, my job, which pays well, requires me to work late during the busy season. Joseph, being in a management position, often has to prioritize his work. Joseph, who was raised by education-focused parents, has always been work-driven. Constantly striving for higher goals even after joining the company. Even after coming home, he would bring work and continue to toil away. He was truly a workaholic. Because of this, both Joseph and I have inevitably made Lily feel lonely. It's good that we have an income, but this isn't fair to Lily. As I sighed and shared my concerns, Joseph suggested an idea. If you're okay with it, Amelia, how about we live with my parents? Actually, my dad and mom have been suggesting this for a while. My father-in-law, Michael, was an elite employee at a major trading company. My mother-in-law, Susan, was an educator at a prestigious middle school until she gave birth to Joseph. However, Michael had to take early retirement due to a worsening chronic illness a few years ago. After quitting her teaching job, Susan supported the household as a housewife, but started working part-time following Michael's retirement. We, as a couple, have also been sending a fixed amount of money to my in-laws every month. I've been thinking about remodeling the family home for dual living. It's a good opportunity. It would be better for Lily to live in a spacious single-family home with a garden than in our current apartment, I agreed. Moving Lily's school to a more natural setting might be better too. Every night after Lily went to bed, we discussed this and reported our decision to my mother-in-law over the phone. That's the situation. Is that okay with you? We're more than happy to do so. In fact, we were about to ask you the same. I'm glad to hear you say that. It makes me happy and reassured. Thus, our plans for living together as an extended family moved forward smoothly. We remodeled the in-laws' house, allocating the first floor to them and the second floor as our living space. While we mostly kept to our separate spaces, we made sure the doors weren't locked so we could easily reach out to each other if needed. Even if my husband and I come home late from work, Lily would have dinner with my in-laws on the first floor, so she wouldn't feel lonely anymore. I thought. Yet, every morning as I left for work, I couldn't help but feel guilty towards my in-laws. I'm sorry for always imposing, Susan. Thank you for taking care of Lily. While Joseph and I were at work, my in-laws always helped Lily with her studies. It's really no trouble at all. That's right, Amelia. Lily is our beloved granddaughter too. You don't need to worry about it. Michael said with a hearty laugh. Lily, make sure you listen to your grandparents and behave well. Okay, I understand. Then, Susan, Michael, please continue to take good care of Lily. Having such reliable in-laws made me feel more at ease to focus on my work than ever before. 3 months after we started living together, I came home earlier than usual one day because work ended early, and Lily ran into my arms crying. What's wrong, Lily? Why are you crying? Lily clung to me and wouldn't lift her face. Susan followed Lily and said, she must be so happy to see her mom, trying to pat Lily on the head. Lily shook her head violently, showing that she didn't like it. Susan smiled a bit sadly. Lily, that's not right. You always have your grandma to help you with your studies. It's not nice to act like this, you'll make grandma sad. She probably just misses her parents a lot. Right, Lily? I'm sorry, Susan. It's okay, I don't mind. Susan continued to smile calmly. Lily was working hard on her studies just a while ago. Such a good girl. When Susan tried to pat Lily on the head, Lily shook her head violently again, refusing. Lily. I said no. Where's your apology to Grandma? When I scolded her, Lily reluctantly turned her face towards Susan and apologized with a trembling voice, sorry, Grandma. Since Lily usually seemed very fond of her grandmother, I didn't think much of it at the time, assuming she just wanted to play instead of study. I'm the one who should apologize, Lily. Sorry. I thought I saw tears in Susan's eyes, but when she realized I was looking, she quickly said, I must have gotten something in my eye. And laughed it off. As time went on, I noticed that not only Susan but also Lily's behavior was strange. Even though Lily often played by herself before we lived with the grandparents, she had never clung to me crying like that before. And yet, to act that way towards her kind grandmother, who always doted on her. Lily might be dealing with some issues that we, as adults, don't understand. Just before bedtime, I discussed this with Joseph. If I cut back on work, I could spend more time with Lily, and she wouldn't have to feel so lonely. What's this all of a sudden? We've talked this over many times before. My parents are looking after her, so there's no need to worry. But even if your parents are wonderful people, they can't replace a mother. Are you saying my parents aren't reliable? Joseph furrowed his brows and glared at me. Whenever something displeased him, Joseph often showed such an expression. That's not what I'm saying. It's just. Anyway, it's best to leave Lily in my parents' care. With that, Joseph turned away as if he was tired of the discussion and fell asleep. Winter came, and my busy work season finally slowed down. I'll do the dishes, so please rest, Susan. Oh, are you sure? Aren't you tired from work? It's relatively calm now, so I can help with laundry and cleaning on my days off. Is that so? Then I'll take you up on your offer and watch some TV. I decided to dedicate myself to household chores, making up for the time I couldn't before. Joseph seemed to be as busy with work as ever. Amelia, you're trying so hard. So, leave Lily's bath time to me tonight. Are you sure? Aren't you tired? Seeing me busy around the house, Joseph seemed to be considerate. Leave it to me. Parent-child communication is important, right? Saying that, Joseph puffed up his chest proudly. Lily, go ahead and take a bath with Daddy. When I called out to her, Lily was led by Joseph to the bathroom. Imagining the heartwarming scene between father and daughter, I couldn't help but smile. However, seeing Lily after she came out of the bath, I was surprised. Lily, doesn't your face seem a bit red? Lily's face appeared unusually flushed. Lily looked up at Joseph's face and remained silent, not attempting to answer. What's wrong, Lily? Why are you so quiet? She must have stayed in too long and got a bit overheated. She's probably feeling a bit dizzy. Joseph answered for her. Are you really okay? I asked repeatedly, concerned, but each time Lily would glance at Joseph's face and then nod, saying, yeah, I'm okay. From that day, no matter how busy he was, Joseph began to make it a point to bathe Lily almost every day. However, each time, Lily's face would be flushed after the bath. I wonder if she's sick. Maybe we should get her checked out at the hospital. That's an exaggeration. You're fine, right, Lily? You're not in any pain, are you? Yeah, I'm okay. Amelia, you worry too much. Joseph said, dismissing my concerns for our daughter with a laugh. At that time, I hadn't yet realized the suffering my daughter was going through. Time passed, and it was summer the following year. Lily started attending a summer swimming school. Lily has always loved playing in the water since she was little, and even as an elementary student. She looked forward to swimming lessons every year. That's great. You've got your favorite swimming lessons starting today. Yeah, that's right. It's been a year since you last swam. Have you forgotten how to swim? Probably not. For some reason, Lily looked downcast from the morning. Lily, who had been eagerly awaiting the arrival of summer, didn't smile even once that morning. I thought she might be a little nervous about returning to the pool after a long time, but looking at her expression, it seemed more like fear than nervousness. Lily, are you okay? I'm fine, Mom. Don't worry. Lily forced a stiff smile. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself? If you're feeling sick, I can call the school and you can take the day off. I'm fine, so you should go to work, Mom. All right, Lily. I'm off to work then. Take care. Lily smiled and saw me off. That smile still seemed somewhat forced. It'll be fine. Grandma and Grandpa are there if anything happens. I reassured myself and focused on my work. When I returned to the office after lunch, Amelia, something terrible has happened. The swimming school called, and your daughter has been taken to the hospital for hyperventilation. My colleague informed me in a panicked state. What? Lily. Go quickly. Momentarily paralyzed by shock, I snapped back to reality when urged by my boss and rushed to the hospital in a taxi. On the way, I contacted Joseph. Lily collapsed. Is it true? And is she okay? I don't know. The school said she suddenly fell during the swimming lesson. What is the school doing? If anything happens, we'll hold the school accountable later. Now's not the time to talk about that. I'm on my way to the hospital where Lily was taken. Got it. I'm heading there now too. Usually focused on work, Joseph seemed truly panicked this time. Upon arriving at the hospital, I found Lily sleeping peacefully in her bed. Seeing her sleeping face, I let out a sigh of relief. Lily. The tension that had been building up was suddenly released, making me feel dizzy. Steady there. Dr. Taylor supported me, preventing me from falling. Amelia. How is Lily? Joseph. Lily is. I tried to answer, but my words were tangled. She's calm and just sleeping for now. Please don't worry, Dr. Taylor replied in a steady voice. Dr. Taylor, thank you so much. Tears of relief fell as I thanked Dr. Taylor. However, Dr. Taylor didn't show a smile, instead, his expression was somber. Dr. Taylor. What is it? Well, actually. Dr. Taylor seemed hesitant to speak. Please tell me clearly. Fear gripped me, thinking that Lily might have been diagnosed with a serious illness. Well, how is your daughter's relationship with her grandparents on a daily basis? Dr. Taylor asked carefully. What do you mean by that? I didn't immediately understand the intention behind his roundabout question. I'm asking if the relationship between your daughter and her grandparents is going well. It's fine. But why do you ask? I understood the question but couldn't grasp why Dr. Taylor would want to know such a thing. What could possibly be happening between Lily and my in-laws? An inexplicable fear rose within me. As I fell silent, struggling to respond, Joseph, standing behind me, started trembling with rage and said, "Hey, what are you trying to say?" The vein throbbing on his forehead told me he was filled with anger. What's wrong, Joseph? Feeling something was seriously off with Joseph, who rarely showed his emotions, I became concerned. Stop insulting my parents. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I just want to verify the facts. Joseph was about to lash out at Dr. Taylor, who remained calm and tried to pacify him. My parents cared deeply about Lily. Stop making unfounded accusations. If you insult my parents any further, I'll sue. Joseph, please calm down. How can I stay calm? My parents are being insulted. Dr. Taylor, what exactly did you mean by your earlier question? Dr. Taylor sighed deeply, as if troubled. Then I must say. Dr. Taylor then detailed the circumstances leading to Lily being brought to the hospital. When Lily was about to enter the pool during her swimming lesson, she suddenly experienced hyperventilation and was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. That part one already knew from the school's explanation. However, the issue was what happened next. Upon arrival at the hospital, it seemed Lily was desperately trying to convey something amidst her erratic breathing. While proceeding with the treatment, Dr. Taylor asked, "What is it?" as he leaned close to Lily's mouth. Then, as if her consciousness was fading, she kept repeating, "I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm sorry, Grandpa." To apologize repeatedly to her grandparents even in such a dire situation indicates she must have had some significant experiences with them. What exactly happened between your daughter and her grandparents? I was taken aback by such a sudden question. It was completely unexpected for me. Dr. Taylor. I don't understand what you're trying to say. I asked, but my gaze was not on Dr. Taylor but on my husband, who seemed even less composed than me. What's with that look? You know something, don't you? Joseph's odd behavior led me to believe he was hiding something. I don't know what you're talking about. This doctor is spouting nonsense. It's impossible that my parents did something terrible to Lily. Joseph, who was furious just moments ago, suddenly burst into laughter. It was as if he was trying to cover up something he didn't want me to find out. It's not nonsense. I'm merely stating the facts. And I never said your parents did something terrible to your daughter. All right then, I'll make it clear. I suspect that the grandparents might have been causing your daughter distress on a regular basis. Which is why I've also contacted Child Protective Services. Don't intrude on our family. In cases of suspicion, it's my duty as a doctor to promptly notify the relevant authorities. Dr. Taylor argued back just as strongly. Perhaps disturbed by the adults' noisy argument, Lily woke up. Mom? Lily, you're awake. Oh, I was worried. I rushed to Lily and hugged her tightly as she sat up. You can take her home today, there should be no problem, said Dr. Taylor. To which Joseph responded, of course. How could I leave her with such an irresponsible doctor? Let's go home, Lily. And tried to forcibly make her walk by grabbing her hand. Don't touch her. Before I could think, I had pulled Lily's hand away from Joseph. Tension filled the air between Joseph and me, but I was more concerned about Lily's mental state. In the taxi on the way home, Joseph kept grumbling that doctor was just lying, trying to make my parents out to be the bad guys. I couldn't take his words at face value and remained silent. What, do you suspect my parents too? It's not that, but... Lily. Grandma and Grandpa didn't do anything terrible to you, right? Yes. Nothing bad. See? Lily says nothing bad happened. That doctor was just making things up. It was clear to me that Lily wasn't answering of her own will but was being coerced by Joseph's domineering attitude. Seeing Lily's frightened face, I couldn't help but wonder what had happened between her and my in-laws. Lily must have endured something horrific behind my back, something so dreadful she couldn't even speak to me about it. There must have been something significant for Dr. Taylor to contact Child Protective Services. However, confronting them directly would only lead to denials, and without evidence, there was nothing I could do. There was no evidence anywhere that those two were harassing Lily. Hey, are you listening? I snapped back to reality at Joseph's shout. Sorry, what did you say? Don't make me repeat myself. If those child services people come knocking, don't let them in, understand? Why not? If there's nothing to hide, we might as well let them in. Let them have a good look around the house and see for themselves that there's nothing amiss. Despite knowing it was futile, I countered. What if that starts rumors in the neighborhood? Think about how it could affect my career. Think before you speak. Joseph had always been on a smooth path as an elite, from his childhood to his career as an adult, never once facing failure. Proud Joseph must be terrified of getting a bad reputation more than anything else. Is his pride really something that needs to be protected more than his daughter? While pondering this, my gaze landed on the taxi's dash cam. Yes. That's it. I remembered a certain fact that I had forgotten to tell my in-laws and Joseph. The next day, I pretended everything was normal with my in-laws and Joseph, but I took a leave of absence from work. I killed some time at a friend's house and waited at the school gates for Lily to finish school. Lily. Over here. Lily looked surprised to see me but also seemed relieved. Mom, what's going on? I'll explain later. Let's catch a flight together now. Then we took a bus to the airport and flew to my hometown. From that night until the next morning, Joseph called me repeatedly. Feeling utterly annoyed, I reluctantly answered after several calls. What's going on? Where did you take Lily? To a safe place out of your reach. What? Don't joke with me. Come back and explain properly. I have no intention of coming back. A phone call is enough for explanations. Then at least bring Lily back. Give her back to us. Joseph was yelling over the phone. I calmly replied, I refuse. Why? What on earth did we do? If you don't remember, let me enlighten you. Because you kept doing things to Lily every day that she hates. My suppressed anger exploded all at once. I explained everything to Joseph in order of events. On the way back from the hospital, I saw the taxi's dash cam and remembered that we had installed a camera in the living room. The camera was installed to watching over our elderly in-laws and Lily. It would alert my phone immediately if anything unusual happened. The ground floor was the living space of my in-laws, and Lily could come and go as she pleased when Joseph and I were at work. Shortly after we started living with my in-laws, Susan began forcing Lily to wash dishes and do the cleaning. Initially, I thought it was Susan's way of teaching household chores to her granddaughter, but Susan never guided her. Just watching Lily with Michael. Lily quietly did as she was told. However, after finishing her tasks, Susan stopped Lily from going upstairs, saying in a somehow sad voice, "Please clean the bathroom next." But, I have homework. Sorry, but please, just do as you're told. A child who can't do this cannot stay in our house. So please, do as you're told. Okay? It's for your own good. Saying this, Susan grabbed Lily's wrist and forcibly tried to take her outside. Please, just listen, Lily. The surveillance camera, though it picked up a bit of background noise, was good at capturing the sounds clearly, allowing Susan's voice to be distinctly heard. Interestingly, even as she gave orders, Susan sounded somehow sad. Grandpa, help. When Lily sought help, Michael did not admonish nor appease Susan but merely watched quietly from the sidelines. Faced with this unbelievable reality unfolding on the screen, I was speechless. The harassment from my in-laws towards Lily seemed to continue almost every day when I wasn't home. I couldn't believe that Susan could do such a thing behind my back. I was shocked. I told Joseph about the harassment from my in-laws towards Lily, without mentioning the surveillance camera. Misunderstanding something, Joseph angrily exclaimed, "That girl. Even after all the disciplining, she talked? Was it not enough? So, you were the root cause after all? Huh? I did mention your mother, but I never said a word about you being involved. You tricked me. That's the lowest of the low. To do such a thing to our elementary school-aged daughter? Who's really the lowest now?" I found myself reminiscing about the days when Joseph used to bathe our daughter, Lily, in the tub. I know what you did to Lily in the bath. There was no proof, but I decided to bluff. It was educational. She started to dislike studying and was content with just getting 90 on her tests, so I thought I'd re-educate her a bit. Re-educate? How dare you say such a thing? Lily is terrified. All I said was she couldn't leave the bath until she answered my questions correctly. Joseph had unwittingly confessed. Joseph. When Dr. Taylor asked you about Lily and your parents at the hospital, you were furious. But that wasn't because you were protecting your mother. You were afraid it would come out that you were forcing them to do such things against their will. And you refused intervention from child services for the same reason. The surveillance camera footage clearly showed Joseph threatening his parents. Susan and Michael weren't doing things to upset Lily willingly. The reason Lily's face was always flushed when she came out of the bath was that Joseph wouldn't let her out for extended periods. The bathing experience had become traumatic for Lily, making her extremely averse to water. And then, on the day we had swimming class at school, just attempting to enter the pool brought back painful memories, causing her to hyperventilate. Because of you, she can't even enter the pool she loves. So what? You don't know how I feel. I don't want to know how you feel. My dad was an elite businessman, and my mom was a well-respected educator. In contrast, as a child, whenever my grades dropped even slightly, I was ridiculed by comparing me to my parents. I didn't want to go through that miserable experience. That's why I was strict with Lily, to ensure she didn't go through what I did. That's education, isn't it? Saying so, Joseph began to laugh in a chilling manner. When my dad had to retire early due to a chronic illness and they came to me for financial help, I felt victorious inside. I thought, now. The tables have turned. I'll support you financially, but in return, discipline Lily strictly. That was the condition on which I agreed to live with them. Knowing Joseph's twisted true intentions sent a chill down my spine. I've recorded this call. And not just this, but the surveillance camera also has everything recorded, including how you threatened your mother. With this evidence, I will protect her. You're finished. Wait, just wait. We can talk this out. Joseph was panicking at the last moment, but I had nothing more to say and hung up the phone, blocking his number. I went to the police and child services with the surveillance footage, the recording of the call, and the medical report from the hospital. This is terrible. The evidence is clear, both in video and audio. The responding officer promised immediate action. Later, a new revelation from Lily shocked me further. When I asked her why she hadn't come to me sooner, Lily, in tears, answered. Because Dad said if you didn't behave, he'd do the same to you. I didn't want you to go through bad things. Lily had been threatened by her own father all along. To protect me, she kept her fears and anxieties to herself, even though she was still so young. Despite her own suffering, she was trying to protect me. I failed to see the pain my daughter was enduring. Was I even a mother? Ashamed of my failure, I hugged my sobbing daughter tightly. I'm sorry, Lily. It was all my fault. It's not your fault. Because you saved me. Hearing the warmth in her voice, my tears wouldn't stop. Of course. I am on your side. No matter what happens, I won't leave you alone. I love you so much, and I'll always protect you. I swore in my heart never to let her go through such sadness again. In the end, the medical report from Dr. Taylor and the recording of the call were decisive, and Joseph was arrested for assault. But the in-laws were shown some leniency. Some time had passed since then. My in-laws with gaunt faces visited my parents' house. I'm sorry, Amelia. Lily. It's too late for us to apologize now, but we're truly sorry. We knew it was wrong, but we just couldn't refuse his demands. We're such failures as parents. Please don't apologize. You can see in the footage. You two were forced to do those things to Lily because Joseph threatened you. To be honest, of course, I felt like blaming my in-laws too. But blaming them wouldn't have changed anything. Perhaps sensing my feelings, Michael apologized sincerely. Even if we were threatened, the fact that we did such terrible things to our dear granddaughter can't be erased. We're not looking for forgiveness, that would be too presumptuous. We just wanted to apologize to you and Lily. Though, in the end, maybe we just wanted to ease our own guilt. Lily ran over to them and gently stroked the backs of Michael and Susan. Grandpa, Grandma. I'm not angry. Thank you for teaching me schoolwork. Moved by Lily's words, the two of them broke down in tears, unable to lift their faces. It was as if they felt unworthy of even showing their faces to their granddaughter. Lily told them, "You can come to see us anytime, but after that, my in-laws never appeared before us again." 5 years have passed since then, and Lily has become a middle school student. Currently, Lily and I live under the watchful eyes of my parents. I explained the situation to my company and switched to primarily remote work. Local police are on standby in case Joseph shows up, but the worry never completely goes away. I've attended seminars on security measures and bought security gadgets to reinforce our home's safety. I make sure to accompany Lily to and from school without fail. Lily has gradually started to regain her smile. Lately, she's taken an interest in helping my father with the gardening he started as a hobby after retirement. Grandpa, look at this big potato we harvested. Oh, that's a big one indeed. Lily, why don't you make mashed potatoes with your mother tonight? Okay, I'll do that. Living with Lily seems to have rejuvenated my parents, both in spirit and appearance. Just as Lily tried to protect me, I want to protect her with all my might from now on. Watching Lily's carefree smile, I thought to myself,